Okay, this is another video to help you review for your midterm exam, and this video is going to review some of the concepts of theory that we've talked about in class, specifically the concept of key and the major scale. So we're going to start with the key that is the template for the major scale, and that is the key of C and the C major scale. So first thing we're going to do is spell out the musical alphabet starting on C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and ending on C. That completes our major scale. Okay, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to write down the pattern of whole steps and half steps that happens among these natural notes. When I say natural notes, I'm talking about notes that are not sharp or flat. Now, you know this because we've been talking about the distance of a half step occurring on the guitar. Those notes will always be just one fret apart. E to F, B to C. And if you think of how the major scale works, you really listen to it and you scoop your voice up in the major scale. You'll notice that these notes just are closer together, and that's what gives the major scale's distinctive sound. So we'll write half here, and then between C and D we have what's called a whole step, and I'll use a W to represent whole step. Whole step, whole step, whole step. Therefore, the pattern that's used for the major scale, as given to us by the natural notes starting on C, is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That's what gives us that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do sound. Now, this is the C major scale, but it also gives us the notes in the key of C. The key of C is a collection of notes in which there are no sharps and no flats. No sharps, no flats, just these letters. So if I'm going to jam in the key of C, I can play all of these natural notes on the guitar or on the piano or on any instrument, and that's going to work with a series of chords that are also in the key of C. Okay, this is the key of C, and spelling out from C to C gives us our pattern of half and whole steps. And I can use this pattern as my formula to write out any key that I want to, or any scale that I want to. So the next key that we worked on in class is the key of G. So to write out the key of G, my first step is going to be to spell out the alphabet starting on G. G, then we start on A for the musical alphabet. B, C, D, E, F, G. Next, I have to match this formula. I have to make this formula happen here. And I might have to adjust some notes to make that happen. Well, I'll tell you, I will have to adjust some notes. Because what defines the key of C is the fact that we use just these natural notes. Now, I'll tell you, I am simplifying here. But this is all you need to know for this class, and we already do so much stuff in this class, so I'm not going to confuse you by making it more difficult. So I am simplifying, and someday if you continue with this, you're going to know how to kind of break the rules a little bit. But for right now, I'll just tell you that to find the key of G, we need to input this formula, and we're going to have to change one of these notes to make it work. So let's try it out. What's the distance between G and A? A whole step. We know that. We can even look up here to help us out. G to A is whole. A to B is also whole. B to C is half, like they're close together on the guitar. C to D is a whole step. D to E a whole step. E to F, a half step, and a whole step. Why did I say uh-oh? This is where the formula goes wrong. This is where the formula that I've written out here does not match the formula for the key of C. So this tells me that I need to change something. I need this formula. I don't need whole, whole, half, whole. I need whole, 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 half. Okay? So, I need to fix this. I need to make the formula work. E to F is a half step. I need a whole step here. Okay? Even if you look at your guitar, it can be very useful too, very helpful. E to F, open string to first fret. I need to skip a fret to get a whole step, so I get an F sharp. I don't ever change the letter that's written here. I always go up the alphabet. That's important because, as I've told you before, any kind of accidental note has another name. So this happens to be, yes, a G flat as well, but we're not going to have two kinds of Gs in this scale. We're going to have all of the letters represented. So this has to be called a G sharp. Now, what did that do to this? We created a hole here, and now an F sharp to a G. Well, look at the guitar. F is the first fret, F sharp is the second fret, G is the third fret. So I've created a half step here. There's only a half step between F sharp and G. So this is how I figured out the G major scale. Okay, we have one more scale to cover, and that is the D scale. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So again, I spelled the alphabet D to D, and I need to make this formula, or now this formula works, the same formula. D to E is whole, uh-oh, E to F I know is a half step. So I need to have two whole steps here. So I'm going to do the same thing I did over here. I'm going to sharp this. Now I've got E to F sharp, that's a whole step, and now here F sharp to G is a half step. G to A is whole, A to B is whole, B to C is half. So I need to have whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. I don't. I have whole, whole, half, whole, half, whole. Same problem I had with the key of G. So I'm going to fix it in the same way. I'm going to sharpen a C. So now I have B to C sharp, and that's going to create a whole step, and a C sharp to D is a half step. So, in conclusion, what you've learned here is that the key of G contains the notes that are in the G major scale. So it has G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Key of G equals F sharp. The key of D has an F sharp and a C sharp. There you go. That's how key works, and this is what you're going to have to do on your exam. Good luck. It's pretty easy.